Tonight, police in Boulder have arrested a 17-year-old for a string of break-ins and sexual contacts. They say he broke into 3 houses near campus over the holiday weekend. Once inside, he would commit lewd sexual acts over sleeping CU students. Police say he also stole car keys and, in one case, a car.
Yeah, police say they were able to track down the teen after looking at past cases. They found similarities in a 2021 case. After doing surveillance on a home, police believe it was the same suspect.
Many of the victims in this most recent string are college-aged women. Over on CU Boulder's campus, in a separate case, CU police say a sexual assault happened earlier last month at the Williams Village North dorm.
CU is working to prevent these sorts of crimes. 9 News reporter Luis de Leon is live at CU Boulder's campus. Luis, they have a new initiative that they're trying out. Hopefully, it will better prevent sexual assaults.
That's right, Alex and Jeremy. A new task force has been formed here on campus to help with just that. And it's going to look at more than just more support for students. It's going to take a closer look at how the different social environments on campus could impact the number of these cases. As another busy school year rolls on, work behind the scenes at CU Boulder has been underway.
Strategically, we need that kind of more comprehensive effort to start to chip away at this problem.
A problem, CU leaders say, of sexual misconduct. This week, the university released findings of a survey taken by more than 10,000 CU Boulder students. They were asked whether they had experienced something like sexual assault, stalking, abuse, and more. Findings showed that in 2021, 15% of women in undergrad reported being sexually assaulted since coming to CU Boulder. That's down from 28% in 2015.
We attribute that primarily to the pandemic, the pause, students not being together.
Not only that, but leaders here say things like the Me Too movement have also helped lower the numbers. They're using the findings to help shape a newly formed sexual misconduct task force made up of experts, leaders on campus, and more.
Education alone, the work that we do is super important, but that alone cannot solve this problem.
So instead, the task force looks at other changes.
But also thinking about the academic timing, how we move students in, how we orient students. So, looking at this problem in particular and making sure people understand how this problem is interconnected with the social environment, the academic environment of our students' experience.
First meeting for this task force is this next week, and later this month they're actually going to be holding a town hall where people can come with questions, make their voices heard on how to better address the issue on campus. Jeremy.
Very interesting. It sounds like this is an effort to change the culture too. Thank you for that report, Luis.
Evacuations have been lifted for a 200-acre wildfire burning in Larimer County. Sparked yesterday just north of Ted's place. Crews thought it was around 500 acres, but found it closer to 200 with better mapping. It's about 50% contained tonight, and crews will continue to monitor it throughout the night.
They're all over the place downtown. You see them everywhere, and sometimes people are quite careless on how they use them. Now the city of Denver is trying out new ways to slow people down who speed on scooters. The city plans on putting stencils on sidewalks, reminding people to not scoot there and to use the bike lane instead. Then the city is going to work with the scooter companies like Lime and Lyft to reduce the top speed of scooters in certain zones.
We have already been using it in and around stadiums downtown. And so this pilot will operate much in the same way that does, in that we will look at figuring out where it makes sense to slow people down and or kind of curb where they can leave those vehicles once they're done.
After all the stencils are in place, the city will schedule some observation time to see if this effort actually works. A week ago, they were strangers. Today, one owes the other a lifetime of beer.
9 News reporter Jennifer Meckles shows how a freak accident on a mountain bike is a reminder that none of us are invincible. We can all take care of each other.
I've got some other one. This is the Monarch Crest Trail.
John Crandall is the kind of guy who really maximizes the mountains.
This past Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon, I was doing downhill mountain biking in Vail, Colorado.
It was a trail he had done before, a trail he knew well.
And it was a little washed out gravel switchback, and my front tire just took a rut and I lost it.
Over the handlebars and onto the ground, And then,
So the main contact point when I hit the ground was actually my left handlebar grip going into my left leg groin area. And that went in about 5 inches.
yes, that handlebar went there, where his leg meets his groin.
I don't believe it. I just don't. So the shorts went right with it, and man, it's crazy. I initially thought I hit my my femoral artery, so I thought I had minutes.
He called his girlfriend, and then he called for help.
And I heard, an accident of some sort, and then I heard him start to yell, call 911.
Paul Haggerty and his son Drew were just ahead of John on that same trail.
But then when I got close to him, there was just a tremendous amount of blood.
He took it upon himself to take his shirt off, tied a tourniquet around my wound.
Yeah, I had to take my shirt off and make the tourniquet out of my shirt.
He kept me up. He was telling me jokes and, checking my pulse, and really just keeping me in the game.
So we opened up his phone, and there was an airplane on the front screen of his phone. And so John is a pilot, and I'm a pilot just on the side, as is my son. So I felt that was a good topic to just kind of talk to him and keep him calm a little bit.
Paramedics showed up soon after and raced John to the hospital. Despite a handlebar impaling his groin, he is okay, even walking.
I'm hobbling around post-surgery, but I'm good.
So when he texted and he said, yeah, I was in the operating room, everything's okay, nothing major had happened, I'm going to have a full recovery. That was probably the best text that I'd gotten.
We did discuss some future cold beers in the future after my recovery, and I'd say I owe him at least a few cases.
He promises me some beers, so I might have to go back to Denver and take him up on that.
Yes, this is a story about surviving a freak accident. But mostly it's a story about human decency.
I think when you get into those situations, you just kind of put everything aside and just help the person that needs help.
And the people we live for.
When you get put in a moment where it's like, hey, I might have minutes to live, what matters? And at that point, it comes down to friends, family, and your loved ones. So.
Jennifer Meckles, 9 News.
Impaling the groin. It's going to take a while to recover from
Jeez.
that one. Paul, the helper there, worked as an EMT back in his teenage years. He was visiting from Philly when this happened.
Wow. John is back home in the Denver area, and doctors told him he should recover just fine. And guess what he's going to do next? He absolutely plans to get on a bike as soon as it's safe for him to do so. King Charles is starting his new reign. Today, he spoke publicly for the first time since the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth.